Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome to Chat with Charles. I'm Charles, and this is Tom. Tom, how you doing this morning?
Doing good, man. How are you doing? I like that intro song.
That is a Ben Coombs original. There, he did the theme song for the show, and so we just start out and end that way.
I was gonna ask you, and then I saw the little Ben Coombs thing there. I'm like, man, he writes some good stuff, man.
Yeah, it is catchy. If I'm not careful, I'm somewhere and I'm humming it.
I was staring off, and then you were like, hey, I'm like, oh, there we go.
It does kind of grab you. Well, Tom, I want to thank you for coming on. I've been wanting to do this for a very long time, and of course, we met through Ben Coombs chat, and but then I found out you were kind of everywhere. You were, over on RJ's, and you over on Pete Thorne, and all the other ones, and we've had the pleasure of talking in a bunch of Water Buffalo meetings and some joint hangs together, and so now we got you in Chat with Charles. Thank you for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man.
All right. Well, let's see who we've got in here with us. We have Earl Coli saying, good morning, friends. He's looking forward to listening to Charles and Bent Tom, and he's just hoping we can get a few things straight.
It's good to see you guys.
I like that. And we are drinking. We're drinking coffee. At least I am this morning. But since we got Tom on, I had to have the teal cup. So yeah,
this might be a little more seafoam in the camera, but I can tell you that's the teal Levant, I guess, or however you say that word, from Mojiton. So
excellent. Yeah, they're gorgeous. I love them.
Now, I ordered the cabinets from them. The head I recovered myself, but let's just say I'm not as good with the handicraft as you are, Charles, like with the tops, because it probably needs to be re-glued in some of the corner joints,
Well, it's like anything you do for the first time. You look at the first two up there, the junior and the fabric top strat. They look good from a distance. They look good close up, but if you know where to look.
Well, you know where to look. See, I would miss the stuff, but you probably see it like from a foot away or something,
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, it's horrible when you're sitting there working on, because even when you fix something, it's there.
Oh yeah,
kind of thing. Let's see who else we've got. We've got Cushman NYC saying hello to all the peoples.
Hey, Cush.
We got Quentin James from Guitar Talk Universe.
Oh no,
Quentin, thank you for sharing this on Facebook, Quentin. Appreciate that. And I'm going to say ditto on that one for Herb Fireside Studios, because he shared it as well. So thank you both. I appreciate that support.
Nice. Thanks, guys. Mm-hmm. I watched Quentin last night, man. That guy's a player.
He can play. And he's entertaining as hell.
He definitely can play. He's an old man, but he can definitely. No, I'm just kidding. No, he's a great player, man. Definitely. So it's entertaining with him and Steve too, because Quentin can play his ass off, but just to see Steve's knowledge and to see Quentin go, oh, that's what I was doing here. And it's like, Quentin, you know what you're doing with it. You just didn't know what name to put on it,
Right. Yeah, he can do it. He's learning what it's called and how to go,
Very, very cool, man. Never too old to learn. That's my motto,
And he's got such a great attitude about it all too, right?
Well, that's the thing. You can't take yourself. That's why I love Quentin. You can't take yourself ever too seriously.
No. As we got everyone's favorite music in law, Ryan Hall here, saying, so glad you got Tommy on today. Love you both. Connection between the three of us are unique, as we are here and agree and to disagree. And still
great to see you, Ryan.
Right. Yeah, we can all be different and get along and still be close when it's all said and done.
I hope your son's doing great, Ryan. I would love to get out to the far eastern part of the world, get out to Asia sometime. So I hope he's doing great out there.
Oh yeah, for sure. He put up a video this morning of a tornado that was going on in Tennessee a couple days ago.
Oh no.
Yeah. So.
I know they've been getting hit really bad down there.
Mm-hmm, for sure.
I thought you were going to say his son overseas.
No. Well, he's got his son squirreling away all those Japanese fenders, right?
I was going to say, man, if I was living over there, that would be dangerous.
For sure.
With all limited editions.
And we got Cushman NYC in the house.
What's up, Kush? That's a great
And-
looking Les Paul.
And R2, R3 Locking Nuts here saying cheers to everybody.
That guy's a hell of a player too, man. Good to see R2.
Nice guy too.
Yeah. He's like you, man. Super nice.
You started talking about nice guys. You got Michael B here.
There you go. Look at that,
Can't
dude.
wait.
Is that the Night Swan? Yeah.
Yeah.
Kramer Night Swan. Love it, man.
It's a nice guitar.
And the inlays that do that.
Yeah, they move along the fretboard and different. Yeah, it's crazy. We got Big Wave Dave saying hello in the chat. Dave Chase.
How's it going, Dave?
Our resident amp tech, JP Page 2.
How's it going, Jim?
We got Martin of L&M Guitar Corner saying, yay, Brother Tom, looking forward to this. Good to see him again. It's been a while.
Nice to see you, man. I don't even know what time it is there. It's got to be, what is it, like 8 hours? Or
about 6 hours ahead of where we are.
I was watching the Australian guys at like 3 a.m. when I should have been sleeping, because I was telling you, Charles, off the air beforehand that I couldn't sleep. I have horrible insomnia. And so I was watching them, and they were ranking the haircuts of Eric Clapton. Most interesting guitar-based YouTube channel I've watched in like months, because it was just so left of center.
Right.
Like, well, I think this is the heroin period. No, this is the alcohol period. Oh, this is when he was clean. You can see the pain on his face. This is after, the tragedy. I won't get into that, but, it was very interesting to, because it was not about guitar at all. But
no, but it is amazing the things we latch onto as people. Right?
Oh. And they were like, it was out of 10 points. And so I don't know if you watch those guys at all, if you know them that well, but Brad was like, that's 100 out of 10 for all the ones he liked. Brad's score. They kept saying Brad's score, and Brad's mom Ellen is always in the chats, and so she was like Brad's score. I'm like, if it's my son, I'd have to give him. I'd have to go with the Brad score too.
Yeah, of course. Well, we got Randy Crooks. He's saying hello, Charles and Tom. Hey,
How's
everyone.
it going, Randy?
And he picked up this beautiful Ibanez RG 6003 yesterday. Great deal. Couldn't pass it up. It is just a gorgeous guitar. Now,
you've seen it?
Yeah, he sent me a picture.
So what's I'm not familiar with. I know the RG series, but I'm not familiar with the newer. Is that a newer one, the 6000 series?
I would imagine it is. Let me see if I can't pull up. Maybe I can pull up the picture.
I know the OG ones, but like if you said like 500, like 540 or 570 or 750 or 770, I know those, but
I get completely confused by all the RG numbers. It's just like, how can you keep this straight, right?
Isn't that a very like Japanese engineering thing to do, just to give it like what do you call that in engineering, like a requisite number, or like I forget the
It's just like, okay, we're gonna run a SKU number, and that's gonna be a
SKU number, like the military does. Like, what's the SKU on that?
Yeah. So here's the guitar we're talking about.
Oh, I like it. It's like a blue burst.
That blue, and with the burst around it, and it, it's got a lot of. It's hard to see in this picture, but from on the phone, but it's got a lot of flame in it.
Oh, okay. I can see the reflection of where the flame would be.
Yeah,
that's nice, man.
So great guitar. Thanks for joining us, Randy. And we got my brother Ed. He's saying hello to me and you. And
Ed, that picture, dude. That is that his current bike, or is that?
Oh, that is his baby. Yeah.
Oh, dude. Look at the chrome and the paint job on that, dude.
It's all completely custom. The engine's been bored out.
And it looks like he won an award for.
Yeah. He takes
awesome.
shows, and he gets some awards for it. So
I can see the reflection on the chrome from here.
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me, my allergies today are off the charts.
Yeah, well, hang in there.
It's this, the temperature going like this, and
oh yeah, it is frustrating. It is. Wayne McConnell's here. Hello, Wayne. How are you doing, my friend?
How's it going, Wayne?
And we got Greasy Monkey Guitars saying good day and happy Sunday. Well, hello there.
Nice.
And Keith H, you're here. Just want to let you know. And so we got
What's going on, Keith?
And his favorite guest, Tommy.
Oh, thanks, man. Saw him the other day at the at the Buffalo meeting. Yeah.
Yeah, I hope you guys had a good time at the Water Buffalo meeting. I couldn't be there.
Yeah, I got in late. I wasn't there till like after 2 o'clock.
We got brother Dan Gorman. How you doing? We got Brian from Searching for Tone saying good morning. Well, good morning to you.
Nice.
And brother Eddie Fay has showed up saying
Love
hello
the
to you and
picture.
me. And he's heading out to do some rowing on the Skokie River today.
The
Later.
school kill. He's not that far from me then.
Yeah, no, not at all. Let's see. We got Hip Metal Works making the presents from the West Coast saying good day, eh? Both of you and I. And we got Gear Junkie 35 saying good day to Audio Miscreants.
Good to see you again, man.
Fellow Texan has stepped in. Well, hello there, sir.
Nice.
And we got Steve Reeser. He's saying good morning, everyone.
Steve was cleaning up last night on trivia.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah, man. He beat me. He did well. Knows his stuff.
That over on Fruitcake Tony?
Yep. Yeah.
Excellent. And we got Dastardly Dave has made his way in saying sup to all.
How's it going, Dave?
The guy with the coolest avatar in the whole world on the YouTube's Time Surfing Alien.
I want to know if he, or I'm assuming he, but maybe not, if they got like the picture from somewhere or if they created it and took the, you know what I mean?
I'm pretty sure he created it because he's got another version of this that has something else in it.
Okay. That's awesome.
So it is just really completely, it was, to me, it was ingenious, right? You know?
Oh, that's awesome, dude. And he's even got the background and like.
I tell you, I can't see that avatar and not smile.
Yeah. No, it's, you know.
We got Johnny 3 Bar saying good morning to all. Well, good morning to you, Johnny.
Nice. That's a cool
guitar. Let's see. Try to see if we've messed it up. We got BC Rich 581. Good morning to you, my friend.
Oh, nice bases.
And trying to make sure I don't miss anybody, but we got to get to the good stuff here.
Billy De Silva. Did you say?
Yep. William De Silva in the chat. Good morning to you, my friend.
Glass worker extraordinaire.
Oh yeah, he makes some beautiful, beautiful stuff.
Makes
the legit. We got Jimmy Bider as well saying what's up, all.
I love that picture.
Marcel LeBlanc saying bonjour.
Hey, bonjour, Marcel. Gotta work on my accent.
Matt from McCollum Music as well.
Hey, Matt.
All the way from sunny Arizona, Rico B.
I love that Charvel.
Yeah. I'd like to do a fabric top in a print like that.
No, you know what you got to do? I had a buddy in school that would play like straight ahead jazz gigs with like a shred guitar. You know, because if you turn your volume halfway down, there he is.
There he is.
Mr. Eight Fingers. If you turn your volume halfway down, you can get a fine, clean jazz tone on any guitar. So, but it was just funny because it was hot pink.
Just want to thank Quentin again for sharing the show. Let's see. There's brother William. I knew I wasn't here. Welcome in, William.
There he is. How's it going, William?
Oh, they are at it in the chat. I'm telling you. Okay, so looks like we got everybody. So that means, Tom. That means it's time for a question.
Oh.
Okay. Are you ready?
I'll have to be ready. Go ahead.
This is why you had the insomnia last night. So.
Oh no. You know what though? It's funny because I didn't tell you this backstage, but I was dreaming that I was going to tell you this. But it's good because we didn't talk about it anyway. I was going to say, don't ask me any questions ahead of time because my brain is so ADHD, like literally not just saying that I would try and fabricate an answer so I didn't sound like an idiot. But it's better to sound like an idiot and first answer, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Someone needs to stop and call Ben and get him out of bed. Usually he's here. All right. So the question, the only question that is ever asked on the show, everybody has to answer it.
Mm-hmm.
How does Bent Tom begin his guitar journey?
Oh, that's a good one. Actually playing, or what was the spark?
Well, how do yeah? Well, what's the spark? How does it lead into the playing? Where does it take you?
The spark was I met my buddy Joe, and we were 4 years old, and we met the first day of preschool. And my memory's not always great. Like my short-term memory's horrible, not
Mm-hmm.
because of lifestyle choices, but unfortunately because I had a stroke. Um, but my long-term memory is actually really good. So I can remember, I can play it back in my head the first day we met and we're chasing each other around this play table. We were 4 years old and his mom was talking to my mom. So I've known him for almost 45 years. And his uncle was 2 years old when his mother got married. So he
Mm-hmm.
was closer in age to us than he was to my buddy Joe's parents. And this is going somewhere, so I'll get to the point. But my buddy Joe and I grew up together, almost like family. Like his parents were like my parents, and he had 3 siblings, 4 kids in his family, and I had 4 kids in my family, 3 siblings, and it just kind of everything made sense. So his uncle was into 70s and 80s, hard rock and heavy metal. And he sat us down on the couch and made us listen to Van Halen 1. And it just was like, and I was probably 6 or 7 or 8, at the time. Might have been 5 or 6, but I was pretty young. And just like, wow, his dad had first couple of Van Halen albums, Roth albums on vinyl.
Mm-hmm.
And so they would put them on for us, didn't let us touch the vinyl then, but I just remember it blew my mind. And then, fast forward a couple of years and his uncle would bring over cassette tapes and we would do putting the speaker next to the speaker. You get all this cross wave distortion, but, and background noise, it's hissing. So I would listen to that stuff and it was anything from like King Diamond and SOD. And I don't know if you know them, Stormtroopers of Death. Or AC/DC, Iron Maiden, early Metallica, Megadeth, Judas Priest, Led Zeppelin. I mean, any kind of guitar and shred and rock heavy music. And because of that, I heard Eddie Van Halen, of course, and that just blew my mind. So when I was probably about 12, I remember actually, let me start before that. I think I was 9 or 10. I played drums. I played drums for 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
So I must have been like 9. I think I was in 3rd grade. So I was 9. And then I played till about 6th grade. And then a kid I knew in school, a buddy of mine, Danny B, he was going to get a guitar. So at the same time, we both got a Washburn Lion, Lyon, or I guess it was a Washburn Lion, named for Lyon, France, I guess, and a Crate G10 amp, not the XL, just the G10.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what got me started. I had that for about a year or 2. I was so into it. I don't know, man. I was obsessed. I just played every day. So by the time I was probably about 14 or 15, I would just come home from school and play from like 3 or 3:30 till 11:30 or 12 at night when my my parents told me, like, shut that shit off, excuse me, shut that stuff off. I was just obsessed, so that's kind of the start. I don't know what else to say about it, but the seed was planted for sure.
All right, so it gets you there, and I kind of know what you mean because I remember the first time I heard "Running with the Devil." That riff coming in, it's so simple, but it's like nothing you ever heard before. And but it was a big change in the music, and then of course this is MTV generation, so you can see the video and it brings it all home and it looks cool as hell. It's like, yeah, it's a great motivator. So you start playing and you're spending all this time learning to play, right?
Right.
So but what really was it that made you get to the point where you say, you know what, I'm a guitar player?
Probably wasn't until I've always had severe anxiety and performance anxiety, as well
Mhm.
as generalized anxiety. I have panic attacks and all that kind of stuff. And I think that's why I stuck to myself and did that. I mean, I probably between the ages of 13 and 18, probably spent anywhere from 6 to 10 hours a day playing, depending on the day. But this is why I tell people, no matter what age, if you're my age now, if you're 48 now and you want to play guitar, just start playing, because I don't have a lot of natural music ability. I still don't think I have much at all, but I grinded it out. I mean, to get to where I needed to get. Um, but I think for me, it was just an obsession, and to this day, it's never been to impress anyone else or to get chicks or anything. For me, it was all about catharsis. It was about something that was not negative, like alcohol or drugs or anything else,
Mhm.
that I could put my energy into, that only gave me love, like passion back. It was like, it's almost like having a really good pet, like a really good cat or a dog. You
Right.
could be having the crappiest day and they're always 110% there for you. They don't yell at you, they don't whatever. Guitars don't talk back. You know what I mean? So I guess in some way that's why I was so obsessed with it. That's kind of where I got that, and then I decided I wanted to study music. So I then became passionate about preparing for that. So
Mhm.
kind of that, but also I had a really good guitar teacher that kind of guided me along the way and said, hey, maybe you want to check this out, or hey, maybe you haven't listened to Dire Straits and you love all this heavy metal and hard rock, but maybe you should check out this, because this is a great guitar player, but he doesn't play like what you're used to, but it doesn't mean he's not good. So at 14 or 15 years old, I think that really opened my mind.
It is funny that you bring up, Dire Straits because I was going through a box yesterday, well, not yesterday, but last week,
Okay.
and pulled out the, Brothers in Arms CD.
Oh, dude.
I threw it in the car, and I listened to it, like, for, like, a week straight, and just, like, you forget the just sheer awesomeness of that particular album,
Hmm.
right? And what he's doing with very little. And, it was just like, how could I have forgotten about this? And I
Excellent use of space,
Mhm.
right? Breathing. We don't, I mean, I probably do, but most people don't talk and forget to breathe.
Well, and then, and the other thing that you haven't been shy about is, talking about, the ADHD,
Hmm.
right? And in especially as you're talking about, all the negative things that you could have been doing, right? Because, when you have ADHD, you lock in on something,
That's me, dude.
you know, and, but what a great thing to lock onto guitar, right?
Yeah,
Because it is, and then you have this more intense focus on it because of the ADHD. So,
right.
w-
Oh.
was that kind of your experience with it, or?
Yeah, no, no, 100%. That's always been, I always said that, Kyan definitely got his, autism side of, the spectrum side of it for me
Mhm.
100%, because when I go into something, I don't go in 20%. You know what I mean? I go in 150%. Um, but the good thing is I have a hard time focusing if I'm not into something, but if it's something that I'm passionate about,
Mhm.
like my mother used to bring me my dinner in my room because I would be sitting there playing on my bed, and she's
Mhm.
like, it's 10 o'clock and you haven't eaten, and I wouldn't be hungry. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, you're so completely focused on it and entrenched in it, like, you forget that you don't even realize you're hungry.
Right.
Yeah.
But what I would always tell people is do it for you, like anything. I have a neighbor down the street, and he's probably a little bit older than my parents, and he works on cars, and he's got everything. He's got one of the old, like, not quite like Model T, but one of the old Fords, and then he has like a 70s really cool, Bronco like truck.
Mhm.
And I didn't even know he had this stuff just in his garage. And he looked at me one day and was like, Tom, I do it for me. And I was like, wow, that's such a good way to put it. I'm at that point in my life, for me at least, I do it for me because it makes me happy,
Yeah.
you
We
know?
spend so much of our time doing for everybody else. You've gotta find that thing, to take care of you,
Oh,
or you're no
100%.
good to anybody else in the end, right?
Charles, you nailed it. Yeah. Especially, as you know, being a parent, and then,
Mhm.
um, just everyone, your family, your friends, your job, everything balancing, the work-life balance and all that. So you
Oh,
got to
yeah.
have something for self-care, right?
You're always going, and if you don't take care of yourself, you get all worn out, and so I am so glad to see that you're doing well.
Oh, thanks. Doing as well as I will be. Yeah.
Here you go. And, I wanna thank you for bringing Cayenne on in the green room earlier because I had a great time talking to him.
Oh, dude, he loved you. He said, "Can I go talk to him?" And he saw, the things up, and he saw Charles, and he goes, "Oh, is it Charles?" And I said, "Yeah, kind. You can go talk to him."
And we just had a great talking. I'm expecting when I come there, I'm expecting pancakes now, I'm just saying.
He cooks 3 meals a day. This
Mhm.
kid meal preps, and I'm not talking meal prep to get your protein in or whatever. No, full on meals.
Oh, yeah, full on meals, and he's got it all planned out.
Like when he was telling you about his French fries, that's
Mhm.
not from a bag. He cuts up potatoes and seasons them and makes his own French fries every time.
Love it.
You know,
I love it. Love it. You're doing something right there, Tom.
trying. I'm sorry. I feel bad. I'm missing everyone in the chat.
Oh,
Paulie said, "I
so
like that approach." Go ahead. I'm sorry.
yeah, no, go ahead, yeah, I'll put that one up there.
Oh no, I was just saying. Yeah.
Um, but no, so you did it. But so when you first started learning to play, what was your approach
As far as
as far as
playing.
learning? Yeah, how did you learn?
So I first went to a teacher for about 2 weeks, and he wanted me to work out of a Mel Bay book,
Hmm.
and I was like, no, not gonna happen. But I found a really cool teacher that was a working musician in my area. Um, Still is, and I, Marlin is his name, Marlyn. But Marlon was phenomenal, great jazz player. Um, but he taught me rock stuff, and then when I was ready, um, and needed to do it for school, he started teaching me jazz playing. But he wasn't one of these uptight kind of, I have to play with the most sterile, clean tone jazz players. Like, he was hip to it. Like, he liked rock music. He taught me that kind of stuff. But what I loved about him was, even from the first couple weeks of taking lessons with him, he would teach you stuff like Smoke on the Water, or like you said, Running with the Devil, just
Mhm.
inside triads, that kind of stuff, open chords, power chords, did a lot of AC/DC, that kind of stuff. Um, so he wasn't trying to teach you Steve Vai solos or something ridiculous that was going to get you lost, but he also was um, adhering to your ability while planting the seed that we're going to get here, and we're going to have a whole garden of vegetables, but we got to start with peppers, because if you've ever grown a vegetable garden, peppers will grow even if you've done almost nothing. you
Yeah,
know
plan it and forget it, and get it
Yeah.
get it
So
cooked.
he was a big guidance to me, and then I had some good teachers. I had two really good instructors. I had one at University of Miami that was really good, that I'm still in contact with today, and just a phenomenal guy, just really cool, down to earth guy, but phenomenal musician as well. Had some really cool teachers down there, and then I had two really cool teachers. I went to school at Duquesne in Pittsburgh as well, to their music school as well there. So I think having the influence, the guidance, if you want to do that, is really good. If you want to study something, I think a teacher's really good for that. Kind of like what Quentin's doing now, but you can do it on your own. I think it's like a lot of stuff. It's like having a coach at the gym. It's not because you don't know how to do the
Mhm.
workout. It's because you don't want to do it, and you're paying that. At least in my impression, a lot of times you're paying that person to kick your butt and to make you do it, like to,
Yes,
to get
yeah,
you there.
you're paying. What you're really paying for is the accountability.
Hmm. And that's a lot of it, I think.
Well, yeah, because
Um,
there's nothing stronger than that peer pressure, or having that other person over you saying, you need to do this, and if you don't, I'm going to ridicule you, and I'm going to make you feel bad. So
and
you do it.
it became like a parent, because my teacher was so good. He would be like, "I know you didn't practice that. And I was like, and he's like, just be honest. You didn't practice that. And, you're like 14 or 15 years old. And you're like, oh my gosh. He's like, I can tell you. And he was always spot on. He goes, I can tell you practice that for about 5 minutes. He goes, because you know a little bit of it, and learning to like sight read. Oh my gosh. To sight read on guitar. Quentin was talking about this the other day. To sight read on guitar is just, because it's like, do you want to play a C chord here? Or do you want to play it here? Or do you want to play it up here? Or do you want to play it there or here? It's like,
well, it's funny because I started on like woodwinds.
Oh, okay.
That's different. So sight reading was nothing, right? It was.
Oh yeah.
You have to, but you sit there, you look at, you add tabs into it, and you look at it for guitar. It's like it's confusing even for people that sight read. You gotta really pay attention.
Now, after a while, you start to get more used to it. Like we would do live gigs for, like, I was part of like a couple jazz ensembles. We would do these live gigs, but they were set pieces. So there's improvised solos, but the pieces were set. So it wasn't like a straight jazz gig where everyone solos every song on a lot of jazz gigs. Everyone takes a chorus. This was more like almost like the way like a show tune is, like where it's set and then someone has a solo, and then a sax takes a solo of this song, and then a clarinet takes a solo of this song, and then guitars take a solo of this song. So it was more set like that, but we were reading charts live. Now, reading charts is a different sport completely than sight reading, true sight reading. It's like rugby versus soccer. Right. It's both played with a ball, but the ball's not even shaped the same. Because true sight reading on guitar, if you can do that, where they go, okay, this is written in C, but we're going to play it in A flat. And okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, go. And that is really, when you have guys like Tim Pierce or these studio guys like that, that is, or guys like RJ, that's what a lot of these guys can do. And that's not the level where I'm at.
No, it's certainly not where I'm at.
But I mean, then again, like RJ was a performance major when I was at Miami when he was there. And I was a tech major. So what I studied was engineering half the time, essentially, and music half the time. But mine was more focused on production. So I did live sound, ran audio. I worked in the recording studio there, which was really cool. They had like $1 million recording studio there, which was funny because the PC at the time was, I think, $10,000 they paid for it. And this is like 1995. And it would probably be like $100 PC now, like a little. Yeah. Technology is crazy. Anyway, I lost my train of thought. So, so RJ was a different animal than me. I mean, much better musician than me, but just a different program than I was in. But, the class that we both had together when we first started there was sight reading. It was Saturday morning at 10 o'clock.
That's tough.
And it was like Charlie Parker heads. It wasn't. But I'll tell you what, it's like if you would end up in a foreign country and have to learn their language versus trying to learn it on Babbel or something here. If you need to find a bathroom and you don't speak Spanish, you're going to be a great Spanish speaker by the end of the day. Sure. Anyway, sorry.
Well, Martin is asking, did starting out as a drummer have an influence on how you learn the guitar?
I think so. I think starting on the drums is great. I think starting on piano, personally, is probably the best instrument, or something where you can see. People say it's cheating because all the sharps and flats are in black, but I don't think that really matters, because if you're playing in different keys, what's the difference?
Yeah, and there's a dexterity there that you have to have, and a sense of timing, and
there's a muscle memory in piano that people also don't think about. That if you've only ever seen a keyboard, which is like on off, people forget that the piano is a stringed instrument. And the subtleties on piano might only be rivaled by like violin or guitar. Stringed instruments to me are right up there with a human voice is the ultimate, of course.
To me, stringed instruments are always the toughest. It was I mean, when I was a woodwind player, I started on clarinet. They gave me a book with a fingering chart. Said, "Have at it. Come back." Then you get a lesson with 4 other guys, right?
Yeah, I remember those for drums.
Yeah. And they're like, "Okay, well, we want you to play bass clarinet. It's just got one more key on it. You'll be good. Here's the book. Show up for rehearsal." And then I was like, "Oh, we want to start a jazz band. How do you feel about baritone sax?" Okay, here's the finger. Here's the instrument. Here's the fingering chart. Go at it. Right.
So are they both are they B flat or E flat?
A clarinet is B flat.
Okay. That always threw me off because I had to transpose in college. I had to transpose for different instruments. Like at one point, we even had to write like 20 some piece orchestral charts.
Yeah.
God, I could never do that anymore. But anyway, I'm sorry. So it's B flat. Go ahead. I'm sorry to mean to.
And so but when they wanted me to play, so it's like, okay, we're starting a jazz band. We got 2 weeks. Here's the book. Here's the
2 weeks.
Okay. Learn an instrument in 2 weeks. Okay, great. And then, of course, that takes you into all the other saxophones. Some of the fingerings are the same, some of them aren't, right? Depending on which version. Like, completely different if you're playing soprano, baritone and tenor, share same fingerings. Alto, I can't remember.
Wow.
But to me, that was doable, right? It made sense. I could look at it here, put your finger here, do this. You embouchure. You figure out the dynamics of each mouthpiece, and it's kind of easy to go. But a string instrument, that's completely different. It's like when you look at a string instrument, it's almost like you're taking the music chart itself.
Yeah.
In front of you, right? It's that way. And but all the dynamics is now completely in your hands, as to where, like, on a woodwind, it's in your hands, but it's also in your embouchures and in your breathing, right? And so, but this is all completely different when you get into strings, and it's a complete change in mindsets going from one to the other.
Yeah.
It was always so tough for me, and so when I hit 50, I was like, I'm going to learn guitar. It may not be great, but I'll learn how to play it. And so that's my journey, right?
You must be doing something right, because I thought you were younger than me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I thought you were younger than me. You look so young, dude.
Oh, thank you. I am I'm going into 55 here.
You told me you were 22. No, I'm just kidding. No, man, you got youth on your side. It's probably still having all your hair and everything too.
Yeah. Well, brother Ed is loving the color of the amps.
Oh,
Just he's loving the teal.
Thanks. Thank you, Ed. I appreciate it.
Let's see. Oh, we got Sandra Vercorning in here, and
hey, Sandra,
hi
how's
to
it going?
Tommy.
That's a great picture of her. Yeah, she's awesome.
Sure is.
She's the most organized
welcome
person.
in, Sandra. I know that was a while ago, but like 10 minutes ago. And Dan Gorman said it's good to put a face with a name, Bent Tom.
Oh,
there you go.
Thanks, Dan.
All right, so Ed is asking, Tom, what is your go-to guitar?
I can get it. I can show you.
Yeah, you don't mind?
Because otherwise, I don't know if I can describe it. It's right here, though. Just give me 1 second.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. This is probably the one I play the most.
And I'm going to solo you out because Ed will never let me hear the end of it if he doesn't get to see the whole guitar. I love it.
So this started out as a Sunburst Sir. You can see if you look really close. They're, like the way they do their serial numbers. Oh, it's upside down, but it says upside down and backwards, so you probably can't read it, but it says JS.
You can make out the USA, yeah.
It's JS blah 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 9W, but JS is John Sir. You can't see it on the headstock because I just repainted the headstock because I didn't want to, I'm not sponsored by anyone, so I don't really want to have a logo if I'm not doing it anyway. But you can see it's wearing off here. You can see the color underneath. So I just stripped this down and repainted it. And then it was like single humbucker.
Mm-hmm.
So I put a pair of, these are actually the Thornbuckers. And then I got, so a lot of these companies, Tom Anderson, Sir, any of those, if you call them, they'll give you the option to buy replacement or separate pick guards. They go off the serial number. They don't want to just sell them straight out, but if you call them, they'll do it. So I bought it from them, and it's basically just a volume and then 5-way, but this is a push pull. You can't see it. This is a push pull here, the tone knob.
Mm-hmm.
So it's actually wired just like I called them and I said, can you give me the wiring like the Pete Thorne model? Because I like the way it was set up. So if you go the whole way up to the neck, it's split humbucker. Actually, I think is it in parallel or is it split? I don't know, but it's like a single coil sound. And then the second back from there is the full humbucker. And then the middle is both humbuckers unless you pop that, and then this becomes in parallel.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you go fourth or second position, depending how you want to say that, it's both of these pickups split, so it's more like a telly.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's the bridge. And then if you pop this, it's the bridge, but it's in parallel. So it's like almost like a telly bridge sound, because I think this pickup's around 8.5 or 9K. So if you were to split it in half, you'd have like 4.5K. It'd be really weak.
Right.
So putting it in parallel puts you closer to a traditional telly pickup, like 5.5 or 6K.
So it's real versatile.
Yeah, it's got a lot of different options. And then I put on, this had a regular Goto 510, so I put on the Wilkinson. What's the model number? WVS 1302-P. I don't know what the P is for, but it has the locking saddles, same as the ones on the Pete Thorne model.
Uh-huh.
So those are pretty cool. They lock. These aren't locked now because I just changed the strings, but they lock at the actual saddle. So there's your lock point here. So instead of having the lock point at the nut, it has locking tuners. They're just it's Sir branded. I think they're Spurzels. Maybe they're Goto or Schaller. I don't know. They look kind of like the Schallers. But anyway, they're locking tuners. So it locks here, and then as long as your nut's lubed well, it locks here at the bridge. So you don't get the problem of it getting locked up in the trem claw and then obviously going out of tune.
Yeah. And this is one that you refinished yourself.
Yeah, I did this myself. So it's got, I was experimenting. So if you look, it probably doesn't show up on camera. Let's see if I can get it to show up. It has almost like what I would call like a tattoo. Like it has a pattern underneath the paint.
Yeah. Can
you see it? Right. Let's see if I can get it. See it?
It picks up a little bit every now and then when you turn it just right.
So if you see it, if you can see it just where it turns just right, it's almost like a tattoo pattern. See it right through there? Like it almost looks like an eye through there. But depending how the light hits it, you either get like this green sparkle or there's kind of blue in waves. So it's multi-layers of paint. I went like a green and then a blue and then a green. And then it's got a wash of clear. But before I put the clear, I cut back the green by taping it off ahead of time.
Mm-hmm.
So you can see it right there more. You can see it kind of, it looks like one of those.
Back in here.
It's one of those like Hindu all-seeing eyes. It's hard to see now. You can see a little bit right there. But anyway.
Like I say, and you see it more when you're moving it.
Right. That's the tough thing. But the sparkle, that was the hardest thing to get. And people are like, what kind of sparkle do you use? I mix my own paints when I paint guitars. So I start with a clear nitrocellulose base.
Mm-hmm.
Just because it's easy to work with and the coats melt into each other. And then I mix the color I do a straight white, and then I mix the color after the base coats, almost like you would a true candy. So I put down I didn't really use the silver, but it was more of like a shiny pewter. And then I put down the green, and then the blue, and then the green. And then on top, I put the sparkle in the clear coat. So you get that 3D effect, like it floats, within the clear coat. The only problem is then you got to keep taking down the clear coat. Otherwise, you get a crazy thick finish.
Yeah. Yeah, that is the thing. You start putting on too many coats. And it's funny. When I did the Charles Green guitar, they were asking me when we unboxed it on the OU interview, they asked me, well, how many coats is it? I said, well, it's got more than you want to know. But I took almost as many off.
Yeah, I think this had 13 or 14 coats. Probably around a dozen, maybe a little more coats, but just thin skin. I mean, skin thin.
Mm-hmm. Kind of going back to things that we were talking about, where you're talking about starting with piano is probably the best, right? Well, Sanders plays piano and Matt played piano, and they're all agreeing. So we're way, way behind in the chat. So forgive us, folks.
I'm sorry. I went on and on.
No, not at all. That is what the show is about. The show is about, the rest of the community getting to know you a little bit better. So you are the show.
That's weird. It must be my seat. My seat's either too high or too low. Too low, maybe.
Well, Tom, you have just been a fixture in the guitar community, in the chats all the time. And so you've dabbled in everything from the refinishing of guitars to writing music to all the equipment, because we remember when you were busy collecting all the rack gear, right? and what do you have? What kind of advice do you have for all these guys just starting out to play now?
Good question. There's so many resources now. I would say just utilize the resources you have, man. There's so many free courses online. And I mean, if you really get into it, there's, pay courses too. But if you're just starting, or even if you feel like you hit a plateau, there's so much free stuff online. Like if I would have had that when I started, I would just, I was listening to records and trying to pick stuff off records, but just so much stuff to use online. I would say too, hey Mitch, what's up? Oh, I like the picture of Mitch's dog. What do you say? Looking at the amp. Oh yeah, I like the green a little bit. I don't have much more in this room. Normally I have even more. See, I just like doing projects. I made this one too. That was fun. You ever make a cable with Spectraflex?
No, I have not tried that yet.
So you just you buy the regular cable. I think this is the Canare. It's either that or it's one of those. And then I bought some Neutrik jacks, and then soldered it up. But this is the stuff. Spectraflex is the stuff that goes over it.
Okay.
So you can't kink the cable, even if you tie it like that. It doesn't kink.
Oh, very.
So you don't get cable knots. So if you wrap this correctly, I don't know if you know the difference between wrapping like this and doing it where you go so you can throw it out straight. Do you know what I mean? Like an audio person's wrap where you just grab one end and throw it out and it perfectly goes straight. This will not kink up. I mean, this will, but it's like, I think it's like 25 cents a foot or something. So if you get a 20-foot cable, it's like $5 to add to 20-foot cable. But I mean, making a cable, I think that cable cost me like $15 to make, and they were like $90 or $100 online, but it's to keep me out of trouble, Charles. Just, project.
That's what it is. Yeah.
Let's be honest.
Wow. William says he remembers when you went by your last name in the chats.
There you go.
Hey. And Sandra's saying, don't you have a power rack over 1,000 pounds?
A power rack? I'm not sure what she means. Like like a I don't know what you call it, like a power conditioner, or I have a power amp down there that's like a Crown power amp that's 1,000 watts.
Maybe
Like
should come with those 2 units over there. No, the ones that are in the rack to the right of you there that you were showing me.
these.
Yeah, those. Maybe those.
These
Power conditioners.
Those are the power stations.
Yeah.
Fryette power stations. Is that what you meant? Maybe.
I don't know. I'm thinking.
This rack's probably like 300 or 400 pounds. That one's heavy. I had to. You can see the plywood in the background behind there. I had to put stuff below it to kind of disperse the weight on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
It's getting a little too heavy in one spot. I don't know if you've ever done that, but
I hadn't had that problem yet. No.
you know, my house is 1 story, but it's a finished basement. There's a bedroom and a bathroom and everything downstairs because I'm built into a hill. So like my back house where Kyan has his own entrance door in the back, like it's right at the level in the back, but because it's in a hill, so I'm technically on the 2nd floor, even though it's 1 story from the front of the house. It's like what do they call those, split levels?
Yeah,
the old 70s houses. So I got to be careful because they didn't build the subfloors in the late 70s as well as maybe they do now.
Yeah, there you go.
So
let's see. So Eddie Faye was asking, is that cable long on purpose? So you can turn your amp up really loud in the basement and walk up to the 2nd floor without any hearing damage.
You know what I usually do? Actually, yeah, I think it's 20 feet or 25. I have longer ones too, but I usually just turn the amp up in here like really loud, and then I'll run the cord under the door and just either sit in this bedroom across the hall or down the hall like that. But there's something about that natural reverb. I have a long, narrow hall here.
There you go.
Or you ever do that, Charles? Just put your amp in the bathroom.
I have done that. I have put it in the bathroom, dude. And yeah.
That's the best reverb if you have a bathtub or a shower, anything with reflective surfaces.
Mm-hmm. Well, going back to Sandra's question, she was saying a power rack for playing out.
Yeah, that's my rack there. I have more, but they're not all together. That's why this is all kind of strewn everywhere. Because I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I need like about another 22 space rack. So,
when you're collecting and you got it all, right?
It's a good thing it's not substance abuse, because I definitely am like, over the top with it. What's up, Magic Man?
Magic Man, Brett, hope you're doing well. He says, cheers to all. Good to see everyone. He's been lurking as well. So appreciate you being here, bud.
Good stuff.
So what does Tom want to do from here? Because Tom's got he's got all the stuff. He's back into good health, doing things. So where do you want to take your journey?
I don't know, man. I want to get we have a local school of rock down here, so I want to see if I can get some of the young kids there, if there's any guitar players down there to come up and play some like serious gear, because I remember when I was, young teenager, that was my dream. I remember I went into a store once when the PV 5150 amps first came out. So when did those come out? 91, I think. And I could never afford one of those, man. And I just remember playing through a full stack. And if I could have come over and played through something like this when I was that age, it would have freaking changed my life, man. It would have blown my mind off. My head would have blown off my neck, So I just want to share it with other people and do that. Or if people are young kids, they're recording stuff, they want to loan stuff out, that kind of thing. I mean, at this point for me, it's just like whatever I can share with people, if they're, trustworthy, so I don't have it lost or damaged. That's my only goal at this point, and enjoy it selfishly.
And that goes back to being the teacher in you, right?
Yeah, right. Working with kids.
But yeah, that is really cool because you go back and you think about it, what difference would it make if you were able as a young kid to get your hands on the really good stuff?
Oh man.
And how would that motivate you, right?
I think I almost quit my first year of playing, even though I loved it so much, because playing on a crappy guitar, I don't even know, man. It's like driving a Yugo versus driving, I'm not saying like a Ferrari, but driving like a nice Toyota or something, like, or like
Mhm.
a Honda Civic Si versus like my grandmother's Honda Civic with 120,000 miles on or something. It's just they're both Honda Civics, but they ain't the same. You know
No,
what I mean?
yeah,
Like,
they'll both get you where you're going. One a lot nicer than the other.
but the analogy I've always used is, even if you could never afford one, when your buddy, I've been in a ride in a Ferrari once and I'll never forget it. I'm not going
Mhm.
to buy a Ferrari. I don't have that kind of money. And I still think it's kind of a exorbitant thing, even if you have that kind of money. But man, will I always remember that experience. Like, I thought I was literally going to go through the back of the seat, like, so to give someone that experience to me, to
Mhm.
plant that seed is, I don't know. I just think that's great.
I love that. Yeah. It's just that opportunity to sit there and see and what the possibilities are and see where that love is gonna take you.
Yeah, like to see that twinkle in someone else's eye.
Mhm.
Like when you started really kicking out those tops, man, like I could see that look, that sparkle you get in your eyes when you talk about them, man. You can see it. Like you can see that look in your eye, man. It's like you can see passion in people's eyes.
And so Ben, for those that didn't know, Ben has been working on the dishwasher, which is why we were able to have why you guys were able to have the water buffalo meeting yesterday. So he's been lurking while they've been working on that. So
Well, good luck with that, Ben. I gotta get mine. I don't know if I can fix it, but if not, I gotta get mine fixed because mine's leaking water out the front too. So I don't know. I've
oh
been hand
boy,
washing for 3 days.
yeah, that gets old real quick.
Well, you don't want to leave it. I have wood floors in the kitchen.
Hmm.
They're
Yeah.
they're like hardwood floors in the kitchen. So you don't want to leave it, because what if you leave it and you leave for 20 minutes to go outside and check the lawn, and then all of a sudden you got to buy a whole new floor.
Yep. Exactly.
It's like, why did we put water, in the kitchen in a big box that's, anyway,
You gotta love it.
modern conveniences, right, Charles?
Oh yeah, for sure. They can be convenient, but when it goes wrong, it goes really wrong. So
So there's
is there anything that you're 'cause we're down to just a couple minutes here, and but is there anything that you wanted to talk about that we didn't get a chance to?
my trying to think here. No, I think other than my taxidermy collection. No, I'm just kidding. I have I have a couple diaphanized animals, but you know what that is?
I have no idea.
Here, we can close on that. You'll enjoy it. Let me just put this guitar down because I'm afraid
All
I'm
right,
gonna drop it now because I don't have any stands right here. Give me 1 second. I'll grab the rat too. You'll dig this. It's not alive, but
all right. So now we're gonna dig into his diaphanized animal collection. All right, this should be interesting. I have no idea what this is. Of course, Sandra knows. She's weird that way. She says. So Sandra knows what you're talking about. Hey, Nelson Rodriguez, hello there. Diaphanized. All right.
so this, if you're into oddities and curiosities, is what a diaphanized rat is, or what it looks like. So they uh, fully clean off the rat, the skeleton, and
Uh-huh.
then they inject a chemical into it, which is, either colored like a reddish purple or a blue. And it takes anywhere from several weeks to a month or more for it to fully soak in. And then it's in some sort of, I think it's formaldehyde or some sort of fluid. But I bought this, they have the reptile shows
Mm-hmm.
and they have people that do oddities and that kind of stuff there. So I bought this, and there you can see, obviously, it's never been opened, not planned to be opened. At the top, you can see the little condensation, but I just thought that was cool. I don't know if anyone's ever seen one, but
It's definitely a topic of conversation.
look at those teeth, though, man. Oof. Look at those teeth in the front. I don't know if you can see it because of reflection. Those big.
You can't add that right there, yeah.
I need a better camera. Isn't that wild?
That is something else.
But I thought, it was like 15 or 20 bucks. I thought that was like, a good purchase.
Well, we're definitely going to have to do this again sometime. There's no two ways about that. This has been completely fun. I can't believe we went the hour.
I know. We went quick.
Yeah, it seems like we just started the conversation.
I know, and Kyan still wants another hour with you too. You guys were chatting beforehand.
Yeah, I tell you, next time we just bring them on and we'll do.
I got to get an extra set of headphones. Get a splitter here, plug into my little Scarlett 2i2, and then we'll be good. I don't have the fancy, what are those called? Rodecaster?
Mm-hmm.
What are you using as an interface? I'm curious real quick before we go.
I'm using the Rodecaster Pro.
Oh, you'll have to tell me then off the air what you like or don't like.
All right. Yeah. It's all right. Well, Tom, I want to thank you for coming on.
Well, thanks for having me, man.
No, we're definitely going to have to do this again. It just has been long overdue, and I had a ball.
I had a great time, man. I'm shocked how quick it went.
I like this interface. What's that? But you hold on here. We're gonna go ahead and take it out. Music Therapy Laz is coming up next, and then the OU812 crew will be on later, with their Sunday afternoon jam. And of course, Ben Coombs has someone we all dearly love on tonight. He's got Lawrence Petros from LPD Designs.
Oh, yeah.
On tonight. So, all your pedal questions answered.
I will definitely pick Lawrence's brain. But it'll be good. I won't be on with Ben, so I can't fanboy like I did both times with Pete Thorne. Ben learned his lesson.
Yeah,
I couldn't help myself.
You were all over it.
I think I got banned from when Pete's on, but Pete's just such a great guy, like Ben.
And rumor is Pete will probably be live today too.
Oh, that's right. He has a card up, I think.
Yeah, I think so. All right, guys. Everyone, enjoy your Sunday. Enjoy the shows. Thank you for being with us. Tom and I had a great time with you, and we will see you in the chats.